Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see about the authorized version of the Bible. Bible has always had its impact on English literature and of course on the English language also. The rhetorical influence of the Old Testament and the conversational influence of the New Testament have definitely enriched English literary and linguistic expressions, and we find that Bible has influenced writers from Chaucer to Yeats and T.S. Eliot. Almost all the great writers have been influenced by the sheer poetry, subtlety, and beauty of Bible. Bible was in the beginning only in Hebrew language, and Hebrew poetry had rhythm and parallelism, and therefore for a long time it was very difficult to translate it, but there are people who try to translate Bible in other languages, and it was during the Elizabethan period that they felt that this poetic quality definitely can be translated into English, and this translation also will have the same seriousness and the religious consciousness with a spiritual touch in English. And the translators also possessed great excellent literary vision, and therefore they thought that those days English prose was competent enough to express the full force and the grace of the original Hebrew. And Wycliffe translated the Bible in 14th century, but even before Wycliffe, there were many attempts to translate Bible, and especially in the 9th and 10th centuries, we find that attempts were made. And among the translations which were brought out between 14th century and the time of the authorized version, two important translations are there. One is the new translation of the New Testament by William Tyndale, which was published in 1525, and another is the Bible by Mills Coverdale, which was published in 1535. And these two translations of the Bible also influenced the translators who translated and published the authorized version of the Bible. And the authorized version of the Bible is said to be more popular and authentic than all the other previous translations. And this authorized version of the Bible was done by 57 divines and religious scholars, and this was published in 1611. That is, King Charles I, first King Charles I, he organized a conference at Hampton Court in 1604, and they decided to translate the Bible in English. And accordingly, they chose 57 members in the committee, and all these people were so competent. And what James first advised is, they asked them to follow the Bishop's Bible, and this Bishop's Bible was published in 1568. And why this was said is, this Bishop's Bible was even promoted by Archbishop Parker, and therefore he advised them. But the committee followed Tyndale's and Wycliffe's translations more than the Bishop's Bible, and the work of this translation took place for nearly 3 years, and two issues of authorized versions were published in 1611. And in one version, Ruth will be referred to as a he, as a man, and the other as she, as a woman. So these issues were called as He Bible and the She Bible. And in 1870, the Convention of Canterbury appointed two committees to revise the authorized version, and the newly revised New Testament was published in 1881 and the Old Testament in 1885. The New Testament was received rather unfavorably because of certain unnecessary additions and alterations which were made, and the improved authorized version, which was a translation of the Bible, used many phraseologies from William Tyndale's, and we find that this authorized version on English has a lot of influence because of its prose rhythm, syntax and style, and the language also was of sacred truth, and it is always archaic. And King James had actually chosen these translators who could make the English a little archaic, and the language offered by them also was a compromise between the literalness and colloquialism, but they also used a lot of Latin terms. And in the Old Testament especially, the Hebrew poetry was retained carefully, and another thing is, Here also we find that Tyndale's influence was there. Like they had reused his phrases like the burden and the heat of the day, eat, drink, and be merry, like this, and several Greek words were translated into English words, and the influence of the authorized version on English culture, language, and literature was so powerful that the phrases, rhymes, and sentiments, all which were found in the Bible, became a part of everyday speech in the Englishman's world. And written English also used a lot of biblical phrases, images, and symbols, and it showed that educated people had this tendencies to reuse these words, and several phrases are found in the songs of the Solomon, which have become a part of everyday English speech itself. In fact, we can even say that authorized version has become a part of European culture itself. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.